Welcome back to The Corner. It is week number 7. I am your host, Cody Carpentier. You can find me on Twitter at CarpentierNFL, on patreon.com/CarpentierNFL, and on YouTube right here. If you are listening, click that subscribe button. We're here, youtube.com/Cody Carpentier. Last week on The Corner, we had a couple of great bets, great things that we had aimed right at. The prop of the week again hits. It is 4-1 on the year. Last week, it was Noah Fant. 44.5 total yards, over, and an anytime touchdown. And, of course, Noah Fant comes through for the crew. He played again on Thursday night this week. Not as great of a showing, but last weekend he finally had that breakout, 9 for 97 and a touchdown. You absolutely love to see that from Noah Fant. That was our biggest target of the week last week. And then we also had Brandon Cooks over 63.5. We had Keenan Allen over 67.5. He ended up with 50. And then we also had Allen Robinson over 53.5. Not, it could have been better. We got a couple things to fix in this whole scenario, but the prop of the week was the big one. Noah Fant hit 5 extra money on FanDuel, for Noah Fant. And this week we're back. Cornerback rankings updated a little bit. We still have the top 10 really didn't move very much. It is number 1, Jalen Ramsey. He gets Amon-Ra St. Brown this week, mainly in coverage. I think him and then probably Hawkins, and he's going to be his main coverage. Casey Hayward stays at number 2. He gets Devonta Smith this week in Philadelphia. The game is in Las Vegas. It's going to be Casey Hayward, Devonta Smith. It's going to be a fun matchup to watch. It's the old bull. It's the young buck. What are we going to see? Casey Hayward's 32, Devonta Smith 22. I want to see this. This is going to be a good matchup. Neither of them have top end speed, but they're both very technical cornerback and receivers. So Casey Hayward's been locked down though. So playing Smith this week, you can do it. And I wouldn't go against it because I think they're going to be moving him around. Nate Hobbs is good, but he's not great. Amik Robertson is not great, but Casey Hayward has been absolutely locked down. Let me go over his last couple games. Week 1, 85. These are all 70+% snap shares each of these games. Week 1, 3 targets, 1 reception allowed, 0 yards against Sammy Watkins. Week 2, Chase Claypool, 3 targets, 0 receptions, 0 yards. Week 3, Devontae Parker, 3 receptions on 4 targets, 13 yards. Week 4, Mike Williams, 3 targets, 1 reception, 4 yards. Week 5, Darnell Mooney, 2 targets, 1 reception, 8 yards. And week 6, Cortland Sutton, big man, Cortland Sutton. So you do good. Cortland Sutton, Mike Williams, Devontae Parker, Chase Claypool, big dudes. 5 targets, 3 receptions, 30 yards against Cortland Sutton. He's literally given up less than 60 yards on the season. 55 total yards allowed on the season. He's got 5 pass breakups as well. Casey Hayward's been locked down, and I love the matchup this week with Devonta Smith. Devonta Smith has also been great. He's been solid. One of the best rookie receivers in the league right now. I love him in general, but in this matchup, I'm not totally in on it. Last week, 2 for 31 against Jamel Dean, 7 for 77 against Dante Jackson, 7 for 122 against the Chiefs. I think you're going to get the same type of output that he had last week against Tampa. It's going to be middle of the road. I think they're going to have to target Rager, Goddard, Quez a little bit more because Hayward's going to be on Smith most of the time. Moving down the cornerback rankings, L'Jarius Sneed gets A.J. Brown this week. Tre'Davious White, Trayvon Diggs, Jair is injured, and also White and Diggs are on bye. Marlon Humphreys gets T. Higgins, Darius Slay, Henry Ruggs. I love the Slay and the Ruggs matchup this week. Slay brings the speed, the alpha mentality, and I think he's going to be mainly lined up on Henry Ruggs. I think the matchup with Bryan Edwards wouldn't favor Slay as much just because of the size difference that Edwards brings, the mentality, the strength. Whereas Henry Ruggs, I think he can line up on Ruggs and he can control that entire game against Henry Ruggs. So that puts Steven Nelson on Bryan Edwards. So that brings in our first bet of the week. Bryan Edwards over 34.5 receiving yards. I think Bryan Edwards smashes over this. There's no reason he can't hit the 60, 70, 80 area again. Same as last week. He had the one long reception. I believe it was like 52 yards on the left sideline. But last week, 2 for 67. He had 4 targets. The week before, 6 targets, 4 targets, 5 targets, 3, 5. He's going to continue to get the usage. He's playing Philadelphia. Steven Nelson is not good. He's the guy opposite of Darius Slay. And he's ranked number 76 in the rankings. He's by Terrence Mitchell, Kendall Vilder, Trey Herndon. This is not a great area to be. It's a tough area to target because you have guys in this area that excel. You have guys that fail. Steven Nelson is the number 2 in Philadelphia, and he's been the guy that's getting targeted more. Avonte Maddox has been very good in the slot. Darius Slay's been very good on the alpha, and Steven Nelson's kind of that guy that hung around in free agency, didn't get signed because he's not that good, man. He's almost 29 years old. He's done okay this year. 5 for 86 against CeeDee Lamb, 4 for 31 against Debo, 3 for 53 against DeMarcus Robinson. Last week, he gave up 3 receptions against Antonio Brown. He's okay, but Bryan Edwards is bigger. He's going to have a better I love this matchup a lot more than I like Ruggs against Slay. So we're going to go Bryan Edwards over 34 and a half. And then the next one we're going to go to is Brandon Aiyuk. Brandon Aiyuk, we get Jimmy G back this week, and I think that helps Brandon Aiyuk. The thing with Jimmy G and Brandon Aiyuk, they were coming together. George Kittle was there. Debo had a big game before Jimmy went down. Aiyuk gets Xavier Rhodes this week, most likely. It's going to be a tough matchup for Aiyuk, but I think as much as they target Debo, they will target Brandon Aiyuk. He's going to be the number 2 option in this passing game with Kittle out. And his last few games, 4 for 37 on 6 targets against the Packers, 2 for 32 last week on 4 targets against Arizona. I like Brandon Aiyuk over 30.5 receiving yards. He takes 2 receptions to get to 30 and a half, and I think this game they're going to need to be passing because Indianapolis has a tough front on the run game. I just like that. Now, Hayden Hurst over 14.5 receiving yards. I don't know why this number is so low. I don't quite understand why this number is at 14.5. When you look at Hayden Hurst's output the last few weeks, 5 targets against the Jets in London, 4 for 40. The week before that, Washington, 4 for 29 on 4 targets. And the week before that, it was 2 games where he had less than 45% snap shares. New York Giants, 1 target, 39% snap share. Week 2 against Tampa, 42% snap share, 1 target, 1 reception, 6 yards. But then week 1 against the Eagles, they got blown out, 60%, 4 for 28. So he's hit this number of 14 and a half. He's doubled it in 3 out of his 5 games. In the 2 games he didn't hit it in, he had less than 45% snap share. I think this game, Calvin Ridley comes back and Pitts is there. And they're playing Miami. Is Xavier Howard, is Byron Jones going to be healthy? Are they going to play? We don't know. We have to see that. We'll see that tomorrow. But I love the Hayden Hurst usage because they're just going to keep pushing him out there, and he's got the connection with Matt Ryan. So why not? 14 and a half is like, give me that number every day of the week. I love that one. And then Marquez Callaway. I've been talking about this one on Undercovered Ops. Marquez Callaway, the first part of the season was I wouldn't say a fade as much as he just wasn't a guy that I was targeting to play week in and week out because of situations, matchups. He had a brutal start to the season. And this week, he finally gets eased up. He gets Seattle. That's why I said, wait till after the bye week. He's going to get Seattle. He's going to get this easy cake matchup. Michael Thomas might be back. Instead, Michael Thomas is still going to be laid up for a couple more weeks. And it's 42.5 is the receiving total this week. And Traquan Smith should be back to play opposite of him. Troutman's starting to play a lot better. I like Marquez Callaway against DJ Reed, who I have at number 112 on the cornerback rankings out of 120, behind Kevin King, behind Ugo Amadi. Again, the Seattle pass defense is horrid. And the first few games of the season for Marquez Callaway, Kendall Fuller, 4 for 85, demolished Kendall Fuller, which was a tough matchup. It was him and William Jackson. Week before that, James Bradbury, 2 for 74. Week before that, New England, 4 for 41. And that was a tough matchup as well. And he still did good. He still caught that touchdown in the end zone. 2 touchdowns last week, 1 2 weeks ago against New England. So he's excelling in these opportunities. And this week, the number is at 42.5. Last week, 85. The week before, 74. The week before that against New England, 41. I think Marquez Callaway hits this number in the first half against Seattle. Sorry about the camera there. I think Marquez Callaway hits this number in the first half against Seattle. And I think we're going to be running home with money in our pockets. Now, that is your 4 bets of the week. Marquez Callaway over 42.5 against Seattle on Monday Night Football. Hayden Hurst crushes 14.5 yards against Miami Dolphins. Bryan Edwards gets Steven Nelson while Henry Ruggs is over there dealing with Darius Slay. Bryan Edwards over 34.5. And then Brandon Aiyuk for almost the same reason. Is Debo Samuel is going to be the main target. But Brandon Aiyuk is getting Jimmy Garoppolo back, and that's who he has the best connections with. Jimmy Garoppolo, to be quite frank, is a better passer than Trey Lance at this point in their careers. And Brandon Aiyuk at 30.5. I love that. He's going to connect back with Jimmy G, 4 for 37 and 1. He was just starting to kind of get back and break out right when Jimmy G went down. So 4 for 37 and a touchdown on 6 targets the last time Jimmy played. Give me some Brandon Aiyuk, Brian Edwards, Hayden Hurst, Marquez Callaway. Love me some of that. The prop of the week this week might surprise some of you. It's not a receiver. It's not a running back. It's not a tight end. It is Lamar Jackson. And when I saw this number, it was one of the first numbers I actually found that I was like, ooh, I really, really like this. This is the prop of the week. It hit me right away. I was like, I don't know. This has got to be, it almost seems too good to be true. And that's what these numbers are. They're like the Fant one number, I was like 44.5. Like there's nobody left in this pass game. He's going to hit this number. And with Lamar Jackson, it's a divisional game, 60.5 rushing yards. This is his last 5 games. Sorry, he's played 5 career games against the Bengals. Now, 2018, 119 yards on the ground. 2018, sorry. 2019, 152. The next game against the Bengals, 65. 2020, they blew him out early in the season. He had 2 rushing attempts. That's an abnormal game for Lamar Jackson. And then in January this past year, 11 for 97 on the ground. So he smashed 60 in 4 out of 5 games against the Bengals. I love that again. I think it's going to happen again. And then you look at his 2020 log. Let me change this because I just changed it. You look at his 2020 log for rushing, 8 carries, 51, 14 for 62, 7 for 58, 16 for 107, 12 for 86. He's almost getting to this number every single week, 62, 58, 107, 86. The number's at 60.5 this week. Only one week he didn't hit it was a blowout against Denver. I don't think this game's going to be a blowout. I think Cincinnati's a really solid team. I don't think they're really good, but I think they can stick with Baltimore a lot better than the Chargers did last week. I think Cincinnati, it's a divisional game. I think Lamar loves playing Cincinnati. He always has dominated them. And there's a couple runs I remember last year and the year before where you remember that one where Lamar breaks a tackle, goes right down the center of the offense, and looks like he's about to get hit. Spin move, boom, gone, 40 yards down the field, touchdown. I think you're going to see a lot more Lamar running this weekend. He had 8 carries last weekend, 14 the week before that. Expect double digits. Expect him to they want to make a statement, right? They're 5-1. They want to make a statement that they are the best team in the AFC. I'm riding Lamar Jackson over 60.5 rushing yards this week as the prop of the week. Again, prop of the week is 4-1 on the season. And we're only looking to be 5-1, just like the Baltimore Ravens this week. So if you're watching the show, if you appreciate it, we come on here every Saturday. It used to be Fridays. Now we're becoming Saturdays because of the buys, the injuries. I just want to be more consistent and more strong with these props than if they come out on early Friday. I'd rather come out early Saturday and be 100% on these. Make these 100%ers. So like the show, give me a comment. Let me know what you think. Also, tomorrow there will be no show with Tiger. I usually do a starter sit show on YouTube with Tiger. Instead, this week, I'll be filling in for Matt, the Podfather, on the Roto Underworld Player Profile or YouTube page on the Start or Stream show. So if you're looking for start or sits tomorrow, it'll actually be on the Roto Underworld channel. I'll be filling in for the Podfather on the Start or Stream show. Also, thankful to a couple of companies that are supporting this show. Trophy Smack, go over there, use the code Cody60, get you a free championship ring. Yeah, so when you can win your championship in a couple weeks, get a free championship ring with the purchase of a belt using the promo code Cody60, and then you go over to prbreaker.com, use the code Cody10, get you 10% off pre-workout, post-workout, intro workout, all the things, t-shirts, hats, everything over there at prbreaker.com. Check them out, Cody10. Otherwise, hit that prop of the week, Lamar Jackson over 60.5, and to run back through this week's props, Marquez Callaway over 42.5 against the Seattle Seahawks on Monday Night Football. DJ Reed can't stand Marquez Callaway. Hayden Hurst over 14.5. This is the broken prop of the week. This should probably 14.5 for Hayden Hurst should probably be the prop of the week, but I like the Lamar Jackson one a little bit better. 14.5 for Hayden Hurst. Brian Edwards 34.5, and then Brandon Aiyuk 30.5 receiving yards. Let's have a damn week, baby.